are coming to you live via Facebook streaming, YouTube streaming, and also via Skype. Each one of you is welcome to this live streaming from our studios in Trinidad. 14th of August 2022. Today is the day of Samadhi of Naqshbandi Sheikh Lalaji Raziyallahu Ta'ala. Born on 2nd February 1873, he took Samadhi, returned to the divine library where he came from on 2nd of February 1873. On August 14, 1931, entered into his formless form once again. Reflecting one of his important sayings, Betasubi Sadakat ki jaan hai. Betasubi means narrowness. Tasubi means narrowness. Betasubi means beyond narrowness. One who has risen beyond narrowness is the essence of truth or haq or hakikat. As long as you are engrossed within the narrow boundaries of narrowness, you cannot experience truth. Bhagavad Gita uses a very important sutra. Krishna tells Arjun, I am Nija Paroveti Ganana Laguchetsam. I am Nija, this is mine. Paroveti, that is yours. Ganana Laguchetsam, this kind of understanding is only of the narrow-mindedness. Udar Charitanam to Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Udar Charitanam, those who are very benevolent, broad-minded, for them the entire earth becomes a family. I am Nija Paroveti Ganana Laguchetsam Udar Charitanam to Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Vast majority lives in this kind of narrowness. Where does this emerge from? We are born as one. We are born not as an interaction of ovum or sperm. So the two united together, we are not one-bodied like amoeba. When it breaks down, it creates a new body. It is two put together. The journey begins. Now, when the positive and the negative current neutralize one another, interact with one another, illumination happens. What you use that light of the bulb for, it depends on your awareness, your intelligence. When the union of the two currents activates your air conditioner, or induction coil burner, or activates your starts your car battery and the car starts. What you use that for, it depends on your training, your understanding, your awareness. Civilization is a training is given to us. But we are born as an interaction between ovum and sperm. When ovum and sperm interact with one another, a body is formed, a form comes into existence. Then it grows, it takes a certain time to attain maturity and attains maturity, grows, develops, and then reaches to a state that the formless enters into it. And the formless, when it enters into it, the life force, the prana, Ellen White has entered into you. The birth assumes. Now another journey begins. How you are being trained. The moment a child is born, parents and the priesthood are ready or start the process of conditioning. You are Hindu, you are born in this family, you are Muslim, you are Christian. The process of civilization, we call this civilization. Is it really civilization? This you have to introspect and live your life accordingly. The training, the process of division begins. The journey of your narrowness begins. And in each generation, there assumes a birth an individual. Through his own awareness, he has the capacity to transform human beings, to transform entire humanity. But only those are transformed who are ready to go beyond the boundaries of narrowness, who are ready to go beyond the boundaries of narrowness. The training begins from birth to make the life unreal. How to prevent yourself from becoming unreal. And if you have already become unreal, how to touch the reality which is hidden within you. You breathe. That is why I have started with a quote, a sutra from Bhagavad Gita. Ayam nijah paroveti garna laguchet sam udar charitanam tu vasudhaiv kutumbakam. This is mine. There are certain things which you can claim to be yours. The body is yours. The clothes are yours. But there is something which is common in us. Does our focus remains on that which is common in us? The air that we breathe is common. Two people are sitting on a couch together, husband and wife, engage in arguments. One says to the other, don't come close to me and don't touch me. This is the experience of almost each one of you. Don't touch me, don't come close to me. But they forget that they are sitting, they are sharing the same couch. Is it not that both are touching one another? Their feet are on the ground. Is the ground under your feet is different than the ground under the feet of your spouse? Is the couch, the portion that you are sitting, is separate from the portion on which your spouse is sitting? How practical this could be made. How practical this could be made even if your spouse is not understanding this, but you understand, and you act out of such understanding. Slowly and slowly it will begin that something of you will start rubbing off onto the other. When the one person continues to argue and you do not respond, what will happen? Have you not heard your spouse saying, I am asking you something and you're not answering? Do you think I'm a fool? Only you can decide. I am not saying anything. I have many times given the example of Gurdjieff. When he was 8 or 9 years of age, his grandfather was dying. Grandfather or father does not matter. What matters really, what was the message? He belonged to nomadic society. His father said, I do not have any wealth to give it to you, but I have one sentence that has captured the experience of my entire life. When anger is coming into you, postpone it for 24 hours. Anger is something that is now or never. If you postpone it, you can never be angry. Can you say that, let me have a cup of tea and then I will get angry? Try with this and see. We go for anger management courses that you like very much. Yes, I am taking an anger management course. But has you been able to manage? Anger cannot be managed. What will happen? You will put under the carpet. And that is what happens on a day-to-day basis when we surface the things which are hidden below and they are not called for at that particular moment. Your spouse has asked you to bring something when you are returning from home and you forgot for some reason or the other, intentionally or unintentionally, but what you have to listen to at home. Does all the things are called for at that moment? Gurdjieff started practicing this. Man is born undivided as body-mind mechanism. He is neither body nor the mind. Born undivided. As an individual, he is both body and mind. Even to say that both are wrong, it is a body-mind mechanism. Whatever happens to the mind affects the body. Whatever happens to the body affects the mind. You can do an experiment. You may find it confusing. When you take alcohol through the body, alcohol is consumed through the body, but it affects the mind. Mind gets the hangover. And if there is tension or stress, which is improper use of your intelligence, you do not know how to Use your intelligence at the right time. You may be very intelligent, but the real intelligence comes when you use it at the right moment. You spend 25, 30 years of your precious life in university campus to learn this and that. And at the end of the journey, you are given credentials, honors, that you are now ready to plunder into the world. But have you ever wondered, do you have the answers to simple questions that life asks on a day-to-day basis? If not, there is something wrong in your education system. Something is missing. That missing dimension is the dimension of meditation, dhyan. You are born undivided as one individual. You are not one pole of magnet. Magnet cannot work with one pole. You have two parts of your mind, the left brain and the right brain. And when they are not never bridged, there remains a gap between the two. There are processes to bring that harmony. Simple question, whether to drink, whether to take a Sprite or Coke, you are indecisive. When you are indecisive for such a small item, a small thing, how can you be decisive for the major moments when they arrive in your life? When it comes to, so this is how the division begins. Body and mind are two aspects of his being, not divisions. They are like two polarities, two poles, the positive and the negative current. Hindus have emphasized it. It is Shiva and Shakti, the energy and the energy field of operation. The energy comes in your electric stove. And what is the field? The electric stove is the field where the electric current works and generates the heat which is necessary, and regulates the temperature to control so that you can cook your food. In the same way, when the current is generated, the field is your vehicle that accelerates, that brakes, and all that. In the same way, the current is created into you with the interaction of Shiva and Shakti, yin and yang, positive or the left and the right side of the brain. Then your body mind mechanism becomes the field of operation where you work. The thoughts arise in that field. The very process of civilization, education, culture, conditioning starts with division. When you have reached to a certain stage of schizophrenia or division, another journey begins. You think, even when you go into your act of sex, you are not going with the sex going into sex with your spouse alone. You are a crowd. You are a thinking mind. You are a thinking being and feeling being. Two types of things current. Thinking, feeling. Thinking, feeling. When there is a balance between the two, illumination happens. And what is that illumination? That bliss, the joy that comes in. Everyone who considers himself as custodian of Lalaji, and he uses the phrase Betasubi Sadakat ki jaan hai. and literally understands the meaning to rise beyond narrowness is the essence of truth. But what is the methodology? Because I am explaining the methodology and I am not mentioning the name of Lalaji again and again, so those will not like to listen to me. Because I am not mentioning his name again and again. When I am talking about methodology, I have taken a certain sutra and explaining that sutra in each and every form, so that gets deep into your understanding and you start acting and you become the embodiment of this particular sutra, or the sutra Bhagavad Gita, Ayam Nija Paroveti Ganima Laguchetsam Udar Charitanam Tuvasudhav Kutumkam. Just chanting the sutra or chanting the sutra of Lalaji, Betasubi Sadakat ki jana, you can never transcend beyond narrowness. If that is what you want, that is your decision. So you enter as thinking and feeling beings. Your spouse also enters into thinking and feeling being. So there are 4 persons, and then at times you are thinking, your spouse is feeling, your spouse, so there is no union. Thinking and feeling never unites. Your thinking and my feeling can never have a coordination. Can there be a coordination between the way you think and the way your spouse feels? Both have to be at the same level of feeling. If you have to make a decision, both of you have to be at the thinking level. Think this car should be better. You point out the good points and the bad points, and also the looking at the financial capability. Both of you make a decision. That decision is to come through the thinking mind. But the act of love, act of sex, requires feeling mind, the feeling of the 2 people. You are feeling and you are at the same level as your spouses, then there can be okays. Then there can be fulfillment. And once that happens, as if you have eaten a balanced meal, and you will not be hungry, like you will not be of using this slogan, what to eat now. I have eaten this, but I still feel to eat something. Because while you are eating, you are thinking. Eating is a process different. It has nothing to do with thinking. And when we are thinking but we are feeling. So we are neither thinking alone nor feeling alone. So nothing happens. You are eating imbalanced meal. You are making love. It is imbalanced. So after that, you are looking again, and this process continues. Once you have existed without thinking, thinking is not necessary to exist. If you go deep into meditation, you will be, and there will be no thinking. If you are on an operation table and anesthesia is given, thinking will vanish, only you will remain. So for your presence, thinking is not necessary. And thinking is necessary, it is important aspect. And there are times when you need to be thinking, and there are times when you need to be feeling being. But you are being taught continuously that you are two, body and mind, and you are body, you are the mind, and mind possesses the body. Mind is the master, body is the slave. This creates a rift, a gap, and that gap keeps on creating the problems in life. That sows the seed of narrowness in you. Narrowness is not only of the caste, creed and religion. I am not talking about that kind of narrowness. All neurosis is born out of this gap. Anxiety is born out of that gap. Stress is born out of that gap. And then you are going to learn the stress management. You go to psychiatrist who himself has not transformed, and you want to reduce your anxiety. Your being is rooted in the body, and your body is not separate from the existence. Scientifically, it is made out of certain elements. Oxygen is the maximum percentage in your body. There are total certain number of elements: oxygen, carbon, phosphorus, nitrogen. All these elements are part of you. According to Hindus, the Panch Mahabhut, the five elements, the earth, dust into dust, sense minds and songs and sins. You are born out of dust, you disappear into. So why does your body decompose and becomes earth? Can you take a metal, a piece of iron, and it will decompose into earth, dirt? No, because it has not emerged out of dirt. In case of iron, the earth element is not one of the constituents, so it cannot decompose into that, but your body is. The air you breathe, the sun rays, if the moment the sun rays stop coming to you, you will be no more. Your body cannot exist without sun rays. When sun rises, the petals starts opening, birds start chirping, everything begins to happen. In the morning you see the flowers opening, the bees start hovering around the flowers to collect the nectar. The birds start chirping. There is gaiety all around. In the night they close. Even if for a single moment air decides that I am not going to come to you, your breath does for your life. Thinking is necessary. What is existential? Do you need computer for your living? No, computer is important part of that, of your life. Can computer give you food? No. Your breath is your life. If your breath is your life, then whole atmosphere around you is your life. Both of you are sitting, the spouse are sitting next to one another on one couch. I have pointed out two aspects. Both have their feet on the ground, and out of asinine wisdom we say, don't touch me. Is it the education that your university has given you to give you asinine wisdom? Wisdom is understanding. Wisdom is awakening. Wisdom is light. And then the whatever air, the atmosphere, the atmosphere within the room where both of you are sitting arguing and having a battle of words, whatever you exhale remains in that room, and when your spouse inhales, she is inhaling you, you are inhaling her, and yet still out of our so-called wisdom, which is nothing else but asinine wisdom, you continue to argue. Even for a moment, have you thought, what are you doing? Are you really educated? Or you are an ignorant being? When it comes to religion, the same thing arises. Then your identity. My identity is, I am a Hindu, I am a male, I am Muslim, I am American, I am Indian. The very purpose when the process of education begins, so what you will do? You will begin your Hindu education. Is there Hindu physics or Hindu gravitation or Muslim gravitation? When you are taught physics in a classroom which comprises of students of different denomination, does the teacher teach Hindu physics, Hindu astrophysics to a Hindu or a Muslim, or he says, no, I am going to learn the Muslim physics, not the Hindu physics? But certain parts we do that. So your identity is narrow identity, and with that your life begins. When, according to Hindus, there are 16 rituals that are to be performed during the entire life from birth to death. The first, after the conception and birth, comes the Vidyarambha Sanskaram, to how to begin the education. The first, your identity is developed, I am cosmic. Udar Charitanam tu Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. Those who are, Udar means very benevolent, very kind, very broad-minded. They say that entire world is my family. For a master, he does not discriminate between the nationalities or the people of the different denominations. What does it matter to me that I share with you, irrespective of your religious belief system or your nationality or your gender? In imparting my understanding, does any of these things important? No. What is important? How open you are to grasp the matter and how committed you are to bring transformation in your life, so that you can transcend. Maybe no one has shown you the direction, no one has told you things like that. So it does not matter who is listening and who is not listening to me. One who is committed to bring about transformation in his life will listen to me. And so the number of people listening to these talks is very limited. There is no vast crowd. Lalaji's younger brother, Chachaji, said, I do not want the dog of the world coming to my commune. Dog of the world means one who is engrossed, does not understand anything, who is not ready to transform himself, who is not committed to bring about transformation into himself. You go to the temple, you go to the synagogue, church or mosque because it gives you a certain amount of respectability. That every morning you are dressed and you are going to your place of worship and everyone sees you going there. At times people ask me, oh, you don't come to the Gurdwara now? I don't come to the temple. What am I going to gain there? Are you saying anything which is of reflection of intelligence? You are saying simply things that Jesus is coming back. Yes, Jesus is coming back. But will Jesus come back as Jesus? That means the God is a mechanic. God never creates the same thing again. It's everything, every individual is custom made. When you, how can it be possible? Science has proved it. If you take the fingerprints, why do the fingerprints are taken of the criminals? And they match when you're looking for the character, certificate of character from police. They take your fingerprints and match the fingerprints. No two fingerprints match. This is scientifically true. Does this mean God creates the people on the assembly line like Henry Ford creating the Ford cars or any other Toyota or any other brand of cars? To identify them, a different chassis number, engine number is put inside because the engine and the chassis is important part, and then a number plate is placed on your car. Then the identification of the color. No two cars have the same chassis number, engine number or the number plate. Colors may be the same. So if you see the two cars of the same color, you wonder if it is same car. So then the immediate identification comes with the number plate of the car. If your breath is life, you cannot be without it. So where does your body really end? Where is the limit? If you observe, if you go deep into meditation, you find there are no limits. In deep sleep, we are all one. Or the limit is the universe. The whole universe is involved in you. The sky that gives the space, the air is involved in you, the sunlight is involved in you. When rain falls, it falls equally on everyone. It does not discriminate, but you gather the water according to your capacity. I am speaking. Depending on your capacity, you will gather the wisdom, the understanding according to your inner capacity. Mind is the pot where thoughts and thinking continues to brew. You have to, when your last meal, one of the Zen master, a monk was staying by him. He realized that nothing, no change is taking place in this monk. So he asked him, if the monk asked the master, if there is any one of your friend who can, because I'm not seeing any change in me. So he said, go a certain distance, there is a master. He runs a guest house. Just observe his behavior, observe him, and he will not say much. So he goes there. He introduces himself. He said that the master from the monastery has sent me here. This man, the owner of the guest house, said, "I am no master. But if you have come here already," so he thought that the master wanted to get rid of me. That's why he sent me to this guest house. But he remembered the master said he will not say much, but you just observe his behavior, what he does. So the guest house owner said, "Inasmuch as that you have come, stay on, and in the morning you will go back and decide whatever you want to do, you stay." He watched him. He prepared the meals. After the meals were prepared, he served everyone. When everyone was served, then he washed the pots and cleaned the kitchen. So he said, "See all that." So he said, "I saw you until you cleaned the pots and everything. What did you do afterwards?" He said, "When the last meal finished, I washed the pots." "And then what you did in the morning?" He said, "I rinsed the pots again." "Why is it necessary?" "The dust gathers even when the pots are not in use. Dust gathers even when the pots are not in use." What does it mean? Your mind, when it is cooking the food and everything, it is in the process of work, it gathers dust, thoughts, thinking, many things it gathers. So you wash it. Master said, when you finished your last meal, wash your pot. Last meal means the desire. When all your desires is vanished, wash your mind. This is to be done on a day-to-day basis. And why do you have to wash the pot again when you have washed in the evening? Even when the pot is not in use, it gathers dust. So what is the process of cleaning the pot? Mind is the pot, where everything is cooked. You cook your food inside the pot. So your all thoughts, conditioning, whatsoever it is cooked, bruised. It does everything inside your mind. So you clean it when you have finished your day, last meal. And then when you are ready to reuse it, rinse it once again. Division is destructive. And with divisions you are bound to become identified with the mind. A Hindu mind, a Christian mind. A Christian mind cannot understand, cannot accept the Hindu mind, Hindu understanding, Hindu thinking. A Hindu thinking cannot accept, is not broad-minded. And that is what the narrowness means. It's not like chanting the sutras of Lalaji, Betasubi Sadakat ki jane, Betasubi Sadakat ki jane, Betasubi Sadakat. You can never happen. A parrot never transforms himself. And most of our people are parrot repeating like a parrot. Are you a parrot? Or you want to be a being, a man of understanding? So all those who are parrots, they will not like this talk, because I am not mentioning the name of Lalaji, my life, my birth, this and that, and so all those so-called things. I am simply giving you a mechanism, a methodology how to go beyond the narrowness, and what narrowness actually really means. Identifying with the mind in whatever way is the essence of narrowness. And to go beyond narrowness is go beyond the mind. Mind is Hindu, mind is Christian, mind is male, mind is female, mind is fat, mind is thick, thin. Where does this rift between black and white comes in? It is the mind, the movement, the black movement, the division on the basis of color, caste, All these are brewed in the mind, are cooked into the mind. Every day you keep on cooking in the mind, and pot is never washed. And what is the process to wash the pot? Is the mind, is dhyan, meditation, understanding the energy field of the awakened one. We will continue this talk in tomorrow's session to show many more aspects of this and the process. Until then, take care and do have a pleasant day.